Tucked away in the heart of Southeast Asia, both Cambodia and Laos possess a quiet magic that's all the more visible thanks to an unmistakable emptiness. While their neighbors, Thailand to the west and Vietnam to the east, are humming with crowds, traffic, and constant activity, Cambodia and Laos often feel eerily calm, as though time itself moves more slowly here. The silence isn't merely a mood or a fleeting traveler's impression. It's rooted in history, culture, and the complexities of the modern world. To walk through the wide boulevards of Phnom Penh or the tranquil lanes of Luang Prabang is to wonder, why are these countries, so rich in heritage and natural beauty, so remarkably empty? The answer draws from many strands, but perhaps the most immediate lies in the numbers. Today, Laos has a population of just about 7 million people, fewer than many single cities around the world. Cambodia, with approximately 17 million, is larger, yet still sparsely populated compared to its neighbors, and given its vast stretches of rural land. But what really accentuates the emptiness is the contrast with places like Bangkok or Ho Chi Minh City, where millions pack the streets, relentless energy thrumming through cityscapes 24 hours a day. This emptiness is partly geographic. Both countries are landlocked, with vast tracts of remote forests, mountains, and wetlands that human movement has barely touched. In Laos, for instance, over 70% of the country is covered in mountains, thick jungle, and the winding course of the Mekong River. Large parts of Cambodia remain dominated by rice paddies and seasonally flooded plains, with only a handful of truly urban centres. Infrastructure is often basic or non-existent, meaning that huge regions remain profoundly rural, quiet, and seemingly unchanged by the march of progress. But numbers and geography don't tell the whole story. The history of these nations is heavier than it appears on first glance. Both countries have endured significant upheaval, political, social, and demographic, that has influenced their present-day stillness. During the 20th century, Cambodia suffered through one of the most harrowing episodes in modern history, the Khmer Rouge regime, which from 1975 to 1979 sought to create an agrarian utopia at the cost of unimaginable human life. Nearly a quarter of the population perished, some from starvation, many others from violence. The echoes linger today. Many Cambodian towns and villages are dotted with memorials, and stories of families splintered by those years become part of the landscape. The trauma persists in the form of lost generations, a demographic scar that contributes to today's quieter cities and rural emptiness. Laos, too, suffered in the shadows of conflict, though its story is less often told. During the Vietnam War, Laos became the most heavily bombed country per capita in history. Millions of unexploded ordnance scatter the landscape, rendering vast swathes of agriculturally viable land too dangerous for habitation or farming. The population, traumatized and wary, moved slowly, sometimes abandoning fields and villages entirely. Today, efforts are underway to clear these remnants from the soil, but the process is painstakingly slow, and the psychological and economic effects are enduring. Beyond the burden of history, both Cambodia and Laos have the kind of economies that offer limited urban opportunity. Many people live off the land, engaged in subsistence agriculture. Unlike bustling economic hubs elsewhere in the region, urbanization here is slow, meaning that migration towards cities remains limited. To visitors, this keeps the cities quieter, roads less crowded, and the overall bustle at a minimum. Shopping centres remain a novelty, and even cafes and bars, though growing in number, feel only softly populated compared to the clamorous nightlife of Bangkok or Hanoi. Tourism, a factor that often reshapes busy nations, has yet to make as deep an impact as one might expect, given the stunning beauty of both countries. Cambodia boasts the temples of Angkor Wat, one of the world's most dazzling historical sites. Laos offers the UNESCO-protected charms of Luang Prabang, ancient temples perched on jungle hills, and a river life that seems unchanged for centuries. And yet, the numbers remain modest. Infrastructure, limited airports, a lack of direct international routes, underdeveloped highways, means tourism is still something of an adventure here. As a result, even at the heart of peak season, space is abundant and the sense of tranquility prevails. Yet there's another subtle force at work: culture itself. Both Cambodia and Laos are shaped by traditions that value calm, humility, and gentle interaction. In the markets, traders are unhurried. In temples, monks move in stately silence. The pace of life is intentionally slow. Status is rarely shouted. Instead, community ties run deep, and quiet respect is woven into daily rituals. This quietude is reflected in public spaces, where crowds may gather for festivals or religious events but rarely overwhelm. Government policy, too, has played a part. For decades, both Cambodian and Laotian authorities exerted tight control over migration and urban expansion, wary of the dislocations and tensions that rapid, unchecked growth can bring. Political uncertainty and relative underdevelopment made multinational investment and mass migration less likely, keeping populations both stable and dispersed. In turn, the emptiness is not just a lack, but the product of deliberate choices, some rooted in caution, others in philosophy. The world, of course, is always changing. Young Cambodians and Laotians, inspired by the possibilities seen online and in neighbouring countries, are relocating to cities in greater numbers. Infrastructure projects, China's Belt and Road for instance, are bringing new trains and roads that may one day knit the region's blank spots into prosperity. Tourism is rising. Artisanal businesses and social enterprises are making inroads. But for now, the charm of these countries is still shaped by their emptiness. To wander through Cambodia and Laos is to experience space, physical, emotional, historical. It is to find yourself on roads where water buffalo outnumber motorcycles, in quiet towns where the sun sets over rivers and mountains without fanfare, and among people whose resilience is lit by a certain gentleness. The emptiness, in a way, is its own invitation. Here is room to breathe, to reflect, to experience Southeast Asia as it once was and may never quite be again. It is the silence of possibility, of healing, of life reborn from quiet perseverance. In a world ever more crowded and noisy, there's something profound about lands that remain, for now, a little bit empty. Cambodia and Laos stand as reminders that emptiness isn't a void to be filled, but sometimes the space in which new stories and old wisdom can quietly thrive.